Perfect, perfect. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second edition of Sleep Security Conference, CleepCon 2022. We started this conference in 2021 in order to raise awareness about cybersecurity in the world. And since then, we have been organizing different webinars, seminars, and conferences to bring out industry leaders together, like minded people, and form this community. And in this second edition of conference, we have yet another huge personality among us, uh, Abhilasha, Dr. Abhilasha, and I would like Pooja to tell us more about her.
Thank you, Shivani. So now we have our next speaker who is passionate about delivering training on cloud security services. And she is working as a business unit head cloud security, and she's a member of various technical communities for promoting women in security. And she delivered sessions in many international conferences. So we are happy to have Dr. Abhilasha Vas with us today.
Thank you so much, Shivani and Pooja. Now, can I start my session?
Yes.
So first of all, thank you so much, Shivani, for bringing all of us together on the platform and to discuss the aspects related to security. Last year also, I was part of this conference and it was really amazing experience. And this year also, I'm very happy that I'm able to make it and I'm delivering this session. And thank you, Pooja, for organizing the things and managing the things in the back end. So let's start the topic which I have for today. That is Azure identity protection and governance. So I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So today, what I will do is I will just take a blank slide and I will just show you that this was my intro, but that is not required right now. Yeah, so I have this screen with me. So I wanted to point out a few things here before starting and going in the portal. So first thing, I have taken my topic as Azure identity, protection, and governance. So here we have 2-3 terminologies which are mentioned in this topic. The first is Azure. So this is a Microsoft cloud which is available as a public cloud. We can create accounts. The organizations are taking and they are creating their accounts. They're using the services which are available at the Microsoft cloud. We will be going to discuss about the services, how this cloud service provider is giving us the facility to manage the data, the resources, identities which we are creating. Then we will talk a little bit about identity. What is the meaning of identity and why everybody is now giving emphasis on having a secure identity, having a secure access to the resources in the environment. And then I have 2 other terminologies, which is protection and governance. So here in this entire discussion, we will be talking about identity protection and identity governance in the Azure environment. So here, if we talk about identity in a very simple terminology, so identity is like a person, like an account which you are creating or a something which distinguishes you from others. So you can identify like this is a person 1 or this is an application 1. So you are giving certain identities to some resource, to some users so that you can work with those identities, you can assign access to those identities. Because when we talk about the cloud environment, everything is managed and worked based on the accounts and the identities which we are created. And we have to give secure access to each and every resource which we have in the environment. So here we will be going to create identities, and based on that, we are going to create the access for those identities, and we are providing protection and the governance of the identities. So I'll take you to the portal and I'll show you that what all services we have which are related to identity. So here, if you see, we have these services which are available. So this is a list of all entire services which are available. Here we can pick the service on which we want to work. Let's say we want to see the services which are specifically related to identity. Now, when we talk about the cloud environment or the on-prem environment, everywhere at every place, we need to assign access for accessing the resources. And these access we need to give to the users, these access we need to give to the resources, or to the applications, like one application is talking to other application. So all these things we can manage if we have certain identity associated. So if you see the list of the services which are related to the identity, here in today's session, we are going to talk specifically about cloud identity governance and identity protection, which is mentioned over here. So these are the two services I would like to give overview on. Let me start with first information protection. So this service is basically giving us the facility to protect the information. I just refresh it. Maybe some connection issue. Okay. So first let's start with governance, then we will move to some other account and then I will see what is happening. So first we will be starting with identity governance. So what we want to do is that all the identities which we have in the environment, we want to create some kind of rule, some kind of life cycle. We need to understand the basic thing, like if you want to give some access to the users, till what time you want to manage that user access. Like let's say, I'll give you one example, like for the WhatsApp group. We are part of a lot of WhatsApp groups, which are created for some discussion, for some collaboration, or you are part of that group just to share some information. After some time, you are not active on most of the groups. You are only active on few groups. But what if someone is asking you that you are part of these 50 groups and you are active only on two groups? Do you want to continue with all 50 groups or you want to continue with two group only? So what you are doing is you are controlling and managing what kind of access you are giving, what kind of capabilities you have given to someone. You have invited some external users to your environment, and now you want to see that still you need to give access to the external users or not. So the entire life cycle of the external user in terms of managing the access, you can manage with the help of identity governance. So if you see, it is mentioned over here also that you can manage digital identities securely and efficiently with Azure Active Directory identity governance. Here you can review all the cases and all the capabilities which your governance is required. So first of all, let's start with the entitlement management. Now here what you are doing is, here you are making a package of the resources which you need and you will attach the policies with those resources, and then you are creating a catalog like a bundle. So let's say we will take one more example. I will take you to the blank screen once again. Here we are part of project 1. This project A, I need to have external users. Now I have 5 external users for my environment for this specific project A. I want to give some specific resources. So I want to give resource 1, resource 2, resource 3. Now for these external users, what I can do is I can assign these resources one by one to these external users, and what are the access policies which are related to these I can assign to the users. Or what I can do is I can make a block, or I can say a box, and I can assign this box to all the 5 users. So when I want to remove this access, when I want to remove the access to the resources, I simply detach this from these users and everything is well managed. So what I want to do is I want to create this catalog, and I'm going to assign this catalog to my users and the access policies which are related to that. So this is what we are going to see in this. The first, that is entitlement management. Here we can go and we can create the access packages. We can go and we can create the catalogs where we can bundle the resources access packages. We can assign these access packages and bundles to the specific users. So let me first create a catalog for you all. I'm giving a name, try catalog. I can give a description. This is created for demo. Now I want to enable it or I want to disable it. That's the point. So I have created this option, but I don't want to enable it for the user. So I can enable it. And if I don't want to open it for the users, I am going to disable it. So right now I want to enable it. Now, when you are enabling it, again, the question is that you are enabling this catalog for the internal user or you are enabling it for the external user also. So what you are doing is, here we have an option to manage the access which we are giving to the external user also. So everywhere, whenever you are working, all these kind of things are available for the external and internal, and everywhere information is given with the specific feature. So here you can see that if external user is coming in your environment and want to work on the resources which you have, are you allowing that user to request for this catalog or not? So that is the thing you can manage from here. Let's say I want to enable it for the external user also, and I'm going to create this catalog. Now we will see that what all things we can add in this catalog. So here I have this catalog. Right now you can see that I don't have any access package in this catalog. So this catalog I have created just now. This is created for demo. It is a description. Access package and resources. There is nothing which is there in the package. I will go to this catalog and I will try to add the resources and the access packages for this catalog. So I'm selecting the resources, and now here from the available list of resources, I can add the resource to this particular catalog. So let's say I'm selecting some applications which I want to add on to this. I don't have any application right now. Okay. This is basically account which I've created for today's demo session. So I don't have anything. But from here, you can select the resources and then you can add on those things to this particular catalog. So I'll take you back to there. We can also have the access packages which we can create. Means we can assign the rules for accessing this. Here we can give the roles which are associated with the resources. But as you can see that I don't have any resource right now. But what you can do is you can select a specific application, and based on this application, you are going to assign the access for this particular package. Here we can see that who all can request for this specific access package. So a user you want to allow only for the internal or external, all these things we can manage for the specific package. And then we can also manage that do we want to enable this request or not. So all these kind of information we can manage when we are creating an access package for this specific catalog. And in total, we can assign this catalog to a specific user. So this is enabled right now. I can open this catalog and I can assign it. Users will be able to request for this catalog. For the demo purpose, I have created a user account. I will show you that. So this is a user's account where this user can see that what all access this user can see. So here, let me show you this. So I'm opening the My Access account for a guest user, which I have in my environment. Should this happen? My account. Just open my account and then I'll show you. Okay. So this is a place from where we can get the access, and based on the access, we can request for the packages which we are getting. So this is a guest user which I have created for my account. So here we can go and we can see the users. So I have created 2 users for this particular account. So here, this is a guest user, and for this guest user, I want to access the package which I have created. So we have an option to open this particular access for this user, and from there we can request for this access package. So this access package will be applicable for the external user, will be applicable for the internal user, that can be completely managed with the help of identity governance. You can associate the policies which are related to that, and based on that, you can work on the access which you are giving to the users. Now, the other scenario which I have discussed with you, in which you want to review that what all access you have. I've given the example of the WhatsApp group. So in that case, if I will give you the option to review the all kind of accesses which is given to you, it will be very easy for you to understand that do you need that access or not. Because what is happening is, if you are giving access to user A for a certain resource, now if that user is not requiring access to that resource, but still you have given that access, it can be a possibility that when the identity is breached or the user's account is breached or compromised, that access will still be there and the attacker will be able to use those resources which are not designated for that user's job role. We need to manage the access which we are giving. Again, we can take a scenario for the external users. So for the external users, if you have given access to the certain resources, once the project is completed, you should be reviewing that access. And based on that review, you should be deciding that should I be giving the access to the user or not. So that kind of access review we can do with the help of identity governance. We have an option which is available to us, a service that is access reviews. We can create the access reviews, and in this access review, we can assign this access review to the reviewers. We can give it to the managers. We can give you some specified reviewers, or even we can give this for the self-review also. So what we can do is the entire access review detail also you will be getting in the overview, that how many access reviews you have assigned, not only for the internal users, but you can assign these for the guest members, for the member of organization, any guest application access you have given, any application access you have given. We can also see that how many access reviews are active, completed, applied, all those things we can manage from this specific overview board only. So let me show you the access review creation and working of that. So when we come to this place, we can assign the access review for specific resources. But right now I don't have any resource, but I'll show you the steps what we can do. So what all things I want to review? I want to review the access for the applications, or I want to give access to the groups which I have created. So let's say I have not created any group, but I'm selecting it groups with guest users. So right now I'm just selecting it for this. Now again, we have an option that we can select it for the guest users or for the all users in the organization. So each and everything is flexible and to each of us. So I can select this, that groups with the guest users account, I want to access, I want to review their scope, and then I can specify the guest users only. Now here I can specify the reviewer. So I can specify the group owners. I can specify a selected user. So I'm selecting a specified user as this user. It can be multi-stage also, like the first stage, then you can have a second review stage, then the third review stage. That's also you can manage over here. And then I have to select a duration in the days, and then the recurrence. Like I want to do it weekly access review, or I want to do a monthly access, or I want to do a monthly. So which date I want to start and up to which date I want to end this. We can end after number of occurrences also. Let's say I want to have only one occurrence of this and I want to close it. Again, here I have an option to apply the auto results. Now, what is the meaning of that is, we can give certain recommendations to the reviewer that the user is inactive. Do you want to continue giving this access to the user, or you want to revoke the access which you have given to the user? So these all things we can manage upon completion of this access review. So few things we can manage, like if your reviewers do not respond, do you want to change it, or do you want more change, or you want to remove the access completely if you are not receiving any response? So few options are available over here which you can manage for access reviews, which you have designed for specific application, for specific groups. Now here again, we can add the user to whom we want to send the notification. Let's say I want to send the notification to this user. So I can select this user. So when this particular review will complete, entire review results will be submitted, will be sent on the email to this particular user. And other options are also available over here. I can again give contents. Like for example, you are part of project A and now you are also part of project B. So the resources which you were having earlier as a part of project A, you will be having some additional access from project B. So you should also be notifying the reviewer that these are the additional things you need to take care when you are reviewing the access for a specified user. So all those things we can manage, additional information which you want to give to the reviewer, that you can add on to here. And then we can create the review with the help of the options we have given. And then we can monitor that access review, which we have assigned. This review will be started and the result of this review we can also review. So right now this is not started. Because I don't have any group to review the instances. So that's why it's not started. But this is the process. You can create your access reviews and you can run it for these specified groups. You can run it for the specified application. And also we have the entire things to manage, like the reviewer settings, review history, all these things you can manage from this specified option which is given to us, that is reviewing the access. And this review access we can do for the AD roles, we can do for the PIM roles, we can manage these kind of review access for these specified roles, users, and even users can also do the self-review. Then we have a very important service which is available, that is also known as privilege identity management. When we talk about the access, we generally see that we want to give entire access to the user, which is required for their specified task, which is required for their specified job role. Now in this scenario, I just wanted to show you my role. What is the role of this account which I'm using right now and I'm active from? Based on that, I will show you the other things. So here I want to see my role, which is assigned to me. I would like to go to users. I will select this user. I'm logged in with this account. I want to see the assigned role. So here, if you see, I have an active assignment of which role? Let me just wait for this. So I have a global admin assigned. It will take some time to reflect over here. You can see that the global admin role. Now, if I see and check the permissions for the global admin role, we see that entire information or entire access which someone will be requiring, admin level permissions, can manage all aspects of Azure AD. I'll show you the description of this role. Users with this role have access to all administrative features in Azure AD. Now, if we will be giving this kind of access to all the users, it will be going to deviate the purpose because the entire access will be given to entire user. But when we talk about the cloud infrastructure, we need to give just enough access. We need to give the access which is required for a specified user's job, which is required to complete the day-to-day operations. Why to give more access which is not required by a specified user's job role? So that is the time we need to understand that we need to create specified roles with specified permissions. So here, if you see, for this specified role, we have these many permissions assigned. Now, if you want to only give read permission to specified user, why not you will create a role where you can only have read permissions, and then you can assign that permission to the specified user. Why not you are governing what you are giving to that specified user? And let's say you want to give the specified user access for a limited period of time. Let's say from 9 to 5 only. Let's say for 1 hour only. Let's say for 30 minutes only. Then why to assign that user that role for a more than 1 day, more than 3 hours, more than 5 hours? So this is what we can manage, limiting the time plus limiting the permissions which we are giving to the users. So we will go back to that PIM, that is privilege identity management. I can go to roles and I can work on the specified roles. I also would like to show you that what all settings we can work on if we want to assign the roles to the specified user. So we have these many roles. Let me open this application developer role. Let me take you to the role settings to make you more understand about what all things are available with this specified role. So if you see this role, these are the default settings we have. That this role activation maximum duration is 8 hours. So in this maximum time activation is which you can set from 0.5 to 24 hours. I will also show you that how you can manage and set this for that. Again, you have a lot of things which you can manage for this specified role. Like you can give the justification on the activation. You can also give an option like you need a ticket information. Like in some organization, when you want to request for some resource, you have some ticketing system in which you need to give a ticket also for that specified role. So you can manage all these things when you are assigning this role. During the assignment, what all settings you want to have. All these settings are default settings coming with this specified role. I want to change this role as per requirement of my organization. So as I told you that we can have an activation duration 24 hours to minimum 0.5 hours. We can manage this activation duration. Plus on the activation, let's say you're not trusting the user's login. You want to have one more additional authentication method. So you can ask user that on the activation of this role, because this role is having lot of privileged access, which we are giving to that user, I need Azure MFA at the time of activation. I can also add the justification. I can also add the ticket information or approval to activate. Now, every person is having a reporting manager, or for that specified project, you have a project manager. So for the requirement of the project is that you need to give some permission to that user. That point of time, you require approval to activate this role. So I can also go and say that I need an approval to activate this role. I can select the approval. So whenever this user, any user is coming and requesting for approving this role, the request will be coming to this user. And I can update this assignment and then I can assign this role to the other user. When I'm assigning, again, I have a lot of options to work on. I want to give a permanent eligibility. I want to give an active permanent. These things you can also manage from this particular option. Then I can have a notification also. Like when this user is activating this specified role, I want to give notifications to how many recipients, project manager or any additional also you want to have. So these kind of options you have to work on, with the help of which you can assign these roles to the specified users. I'm going to update it. Let's say I'm going to expire it for 1 year. I'm not allowing this. So I'm going to update this role and then we will try to assign this role to a user. This role is updated. Let me take you back. Right now, I have only one active assignment, that is global administrator. So let me go back to this. I'm going to add this. So I'm going to select application developer, which we have just modified. I'm going to select a member. I'm selecting 2 members. Here I'm going to assign it. So I've assigned this to 2 users. Now let me see what is happening with those users. I will be getting some approval request also. Why? Because we have given the approval as this account only. I will be going to the now if you see my role, you can see the eligible assignment. I have this. If I want, I can activate this role also from here. So earlier I was having only one role associated as a global admin. Now I have this also available to me, which I can activate for a specified period of time. Here I can see that this is only eligible for half an hour. I can have a custom activation also. Means I want to request for tomorrow 10:30 to 11 a.m. That also option I have. So right now I'm not selecting this. I have to give a reason because I've selected this reason for specified row. So I'm sending this activation request and I have given this account only for the approval. Just to show you this demo. So we will be getting an approval request. From here, we can approve this request and we can assign that resource to the specified users. So here in the privilege identity management, we can manage a just-in-time access and the privilege accounts, which privilege access which we have given, we can assign the access for a just-in-time. Only the specified period of time we can assign to these things. And also whatever task we are doing, we can assign and we can manage and we can monitor each and every activity with the help of the monitoring request. So I can go to the audit history and I can review all those assignments which I have just completed. I can see the entire history of this particular assignment. So everything what you are doing is coming as an audit for you, as coming as a logs for you, which you can review and you can understand and you can work on those reviews. So if you see the identity governance, we have all these options to manage and work on the governance of the identity, what access and roles we want to give. We want to assign this role for a specific period of time. For external users, if they are inactive, they are not actively accessing the roles which are assigned to them or resources which are assigned to them, we are not going to continue with them. We can remove their access. We can remove their accesses to those resources just to provide and just to reduce the attack surface. So that is what we can manage with the identity governance. And in identity protection, we can go and we can check and create the policies like user risk policy, sign-in policy, with the help of which we can also protect the identity. So let me see if that is working here. Just give me a couple of minutes. There is some issue today. I don't know what's happening. So I'll take you to the slide and there I will explain you. So here we talk about identity protection. So in Azure, when you talk about the identity protection, you can create the policies like user risk policy, where you can identify that your user A is at the high risk. So you can create the policy to work on the high risk users. You can also work on the sign-in risk users. Now in that case, what happens is that the location which that user is usually login. But now the user login is different. The user location is at 10 a.m. India and at 10:15 a.m. it's USA. You can see that that sign-in is happening based on the location change. So these kind of risks you can design, the atypical location or the IP address change, device change. You can design those policies based on this risk, because in this environment, we can't go with the risk. We can't go with assumptions that everything is going to be in a correct manner. We have to take the corrective action before the damage happens. So all these things we can manage with the help of identity protection service, Also, we have smart lockouts. Now, what is the meaning of this smart lockout, which is available for the protection of the identities? That if any user A is trying to sign in, and if this user fail to sign in 5 times, maybe, or 10 times, whatever policy you have designed, by default it is for 10 times. So if you are trying to log into some account, in 10 times you have an unsuccessful login attempt. In 11th attempt, you will see that your account is blocked for 1 minute. Next time, 12th time again, you are asking, you are trying unsuccessful login, it is blocked for 2 minutes. So it is going to increase like that. And with that time, you will also see that what kind of logs are coming, and you see that unsuccessful sign-in is coming. So your account is automatically logged. And you can also design the policies that for how many times you are allowing them. You can also see that if it is a compromised access or what kind of access it is. So you will be getting all these information in the logs, which is available at the monitoring section, which we have in Azure AD. I can go and check the signing logs from where I'm signing in, at what time I'm signing in, which device I'm using to sign in. So each and every information we can identify for specified user. If there is any unsuccessful sign-in, that also you can identify from this. So information, location, device information, authentication details, any policy which is applicable for that user, and if any policy is applicable only for the report purpose, everything you can see from the sign-in logs which are coming in your system. So with all these kind of services which are available on the Microsoft Cloud, you will be able to manage your identities, and with the help of which you will be able to govern your identities also. We also have an option to create a password protection policy also, where we can go and work, and for that we need to have a specified license associated with this account. We can see that the lockout threshold, if you see by default, it is 10. So this particular lockout will happen after 10 unsuccessful logins. You can also change this frequency. You can also change the lockout duration. By default, it is 60 seconds. And every time you will be having a failed login, a 60 seconds will be increased, plus 60, plus 60, plus 60, and so on. Also, you can give a custom list also for protecting your identities. Like, you can also manage that in your organization, users are not using the most used to words like happy birthday, ABCD, admin, password. They should not be using those commonly used passwords. So that 1,000 word list also you can include in this custom band password list. And then also you have some other options like enable password protection on Windows Server Active Directory. You want to manage this for the on-prem or not. All those things you can also manage for the password protection to help and protect your identities in the cloud environment. So these are the things which I wanted to discuss with you today, just to give you overview about the information protection and the identity governance, where we can work on the entitlement management, that what all things you want to give to the specified user, you want to manage the access, and then you want to also manage the privileged access which you are giving to the user for just in time. So these are the things which we discussed in today's session. And Pooja, these are the points which I wanted to share with you all. And this is all about my presentation. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I will be very happy to share you in your learning journey. In today's session, I've just given you the overview of these two services which are available on the Azure platform.
Thank you, Abhilasha, for taking time out and sharing the valuable insights with us. I think anyone who is wanting to start his or her Azure journey, and especially in IAM with all the advanced technology of PAM or PIM, it is very helpful, and to know like how it is to be configured properly, and what roles and user groups have to be addressed. So I think it is it has to be a workshop, not a talk, because
Sure.
is more of a doing thing. I think many of us have not done it or seen the console properly, and it was very helpful, very helpful. Even I was like nodding in between, yes, 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 this is is happening. So thank you so much for taking time out. It was really wonderful having you back again. I think next year we will again have you with the more advanced technologies in Azure and how we can make it part of our day-to-day lives as well. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
so much.
Abhilasha.